noted as the first Renaissance architect. He was also responsible for the Cathedral de Santa Maria del Fiore's dome. Andrea Taddeo was an Italian founding father of Renaissance architecture who made the Teatro Olimpico. Leon Battista Alberti was an Italian founding father of Renaissance architecture who made the facade of the Santa Maria Novella. Benedict Recht was a German architect during the Renaissance that made the famous Prague Castle. Philibert Delorme was a French architect who made the tomb of King Francis I at Saint Denis. So about these people. Filippo Brunelleschi was born in 1377 and died in 1446. He was also known as an engineer. He was friends with Donatello, and he was remembered as one of the greatest Renaissance architects. Andrea Taddeo was born November 30th, 1508, and died August 19th, 1580. He worked as a mason in his youth. Leon Battista Alberti was an architect as well as a scholar, mathematician, and advocate of Renaissance humanism. He was born in 1404 and died in 1472. Benedict Recht was born around 1450 and died sometime between 1531 and 1536. There's little information about Benedict from historical sources, though. Philibert Delorme was born in 1515 and died in 1570. He was possibly the first French architect to have some measure of the universal outlook of the Italian architectural masters without merely imitating them. The Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore was created with many elements of Gothic architecture, though it wasn't enclosed to the public, and even wasn't finished until 1887. Though the big dome was designed by Filippo Brunelleschi in the 15th century. This dome is called the masterpiece of all domes. St. Michael's Church is the largest church north of the Alps, located in Germany. It mirrored the style of Italian churches during the Renaissance. What was that? The Château de la Chambord, located in France, is one of the greatest examples of French Renaissance architecture. It took several decades. It was built in the style of medieval fortification, though it was designed as a luxury home. Frederiksborg Castle in Denmark was built in the 1600s. It was built as a home to King Christian IV. Antwerp City Hall, located in Belgium, was built in the 1560s and was used for city operations and town council. I don't want to die today.
Now that I've chased that schmuck away, when did major changes occur in the field of architecture? Well, these changes primarily happened 14,000 to 16,000 CE, or the 15th century, when the idea of humanism was introduced. Some of the ideas of architecture started to spread 1439 to 1530. Famous structures constructed in this time period include St. Peter's Basilica in the 16th century, Sistine Chapel in 1508, and the Tempio of San Pietro in the 1500s. Obviously, there are more, but I would be wasting time if I went over all of them.
Cathedral. After its construction, more structures were made in that same style of architecture in Italy. in 1439 to the 1530s, as mentioned before, the idea of the architecture started to spread to different places around Europe, like Spain, Rome, France, and other places around. Oh.
These changes in architecture paved the way for modern architecture for centuries to come. They introduced math into the design. They introduced more math into the design of buildings. As before, with Gothic architecture, there's math, but it was not used for symmetry and domes. With Renaissance architecture, there's a surge of symmetry and domes that are still visible today. These changes leave a legacy until today, where a vast majority of these beautiful buildings still stand.